Welcome to the Data Sentry podcast, where we dive into the world of governance, risk, and compliance with practitioners who are shaping the future of this space. I am Dharita Gada, your guide for this series, and I'm thrilled to bring you stories, insights, and practical advice from the industry leaders who've been in the trenches. At Data Sentry, we are all about empowering businesses to navigate the complexities of data security and compliance with confidence. Whether you are just starting your GRC journey or looking to sharpen your strategies, this podcast is here to inspire and inform. So, our first guest is Rohit Bhat, the VP of Operations at Nexsales. Nexsales, headquartered in California, is a global leader in B2B lead data management. The company has developed innovative cloud products, including Total Addressable Market Visualizer, lead data management platform, data health reports, and AI powered lead scoring dashboards. The company's commitment to excellence and innovation was recognized in March 2024 when it was named amongst the fastest growing US companies by Inc.com. Hi Rohit,
Hey Dharita, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much. And thanks for making the time for this session. You're a little ahead in this journey, and your inputs and insights will be very helpful to our audience, especially for those who are just starting out in their InfoSec and the privacy journey.
Well, thanks for having me here today. Really excited about this podcast and can't wait to share our learnings and what has helped us. So looking forward to it.
Great. Moving forward to our first question, Rohit.
Sure.
From your perspective, what are the most pressing security and privacy concerns that businesses are struggling with today?
Sure. I'd say one of the most pressing concerns is really the sheer pace of cyber security threats being evolved, right? Day in and day out. And for CISOs and GRC professionals, it's not just about managing current risk or kind of staying ahead of the unknown, right? Uh, this is especially challenging for startups and mid-sized businesses where resources are limited. There are competing priorities, and all of this really makes cybersecurity a secondary option or secondary priority, I'd say. Another significant challenge is kind of aligning security practices with business goals and kind of ensuring security and compliance really do not hinder innovation, but instead they really enable that. Also, the fear of the unknown often causes businesses to delay implementing robust security measures. But with the right partner, I'm sure this can be effectively mitigated.
Absolutely, absolutely, Rohit. That's exactly how I feel about it as well. So when I look at, when I think about the last meet that I had with one of my prospect, I can actually, understand, the fear of unknown that may be going around in his head. So what you said absolutely makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
So can you share a scenario or an example of what can go wrong? Say if an organization, especially a fast growing one, which doesn't have the right privacy and security measures in place.
Of course. Uh, I'd say without proper measures, businesses are really exposed to the risk of data breaches, and this can really lead to regulatory fines, reputational damage, and of course, I mean, the loss of client trust, right? That goes without saying. For instance, if you could just imagine a startup storing sensitive customer data or information without really implementing access controls. Uh, a single compromised credential could really lead to a breach, exposing the business to legal actions, financial losses. I've seen cases where such negligence not only disrupted business operations, but also jeopardized the company's existence. So, implementing appropriate security measures early on is critical to avoiding these pitfalls.
Rohit, we've all heard, and I'm sure you would have experienced this too, that a startup or a mid-sized company, it's tough to fight for your place in the crowded market. And having said that, what has led your organization to invest in these certifications?
Sure. I'd say initially we kind of faced challenges where security and compliance were kind of just treated as check boxes, right? I mean, so more of lip service, I would say, than in actual practical use. We realized this approach left critical gaps and kind of exposed us to quite a few risks. So, pursuing the ISMS as well as the PIMS certifications has allowed us to integrate security into our processes holistically. Also, these certificates have kind of helped us build trust with our clients, which is key, as well as demonstrate our commitment to privacy and security. Also, kind of aligning every department with our compliance goals. For a startup, achieving this level of alignment is crucial, kind of thriving in a competitive landscape.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more to what you just said. And it with that, it does bring about a lot of these early hurdles that you run into.
Of
So,
course.
say when you're trying to roll out things to your team or departments, how did you manage to work around through them? And while juggling all of these priorities,
Sure.
how have you been able to manage and keep the momentum going?
One of the biggest challenges was really getting the department heads to take ownership of their roles in the entire compliance process. Initially, compliance seemed like an isolated function, just maybe a few were responsible or part of. And sort of also getting buy-in from the other teams was sort of tough, right? So the turning point really came when our GRC partner helped us align policies with our actual processes. And by involving every department head and kind of showing them how compliance directly impacts business success, we we really managed to sort of overcome resistance as well as foster collaboration. So that's been our way of how this has really helped us.
Even I feel that's the challenge that most organizations are facing today.
Of course, I'm
Can
sure.
you share a specific instance where the process didn't go as planned?
Yes, I recollect during our implementation, we encountered a significant setback, right? When it came to policies provided by our former implementation partner. The reason being they were too generic and really didn't reflect or weren't that relevant to our operations. And that sort of created a lot of confusion as well as delayed progress. Now, things changed with our current GRC or implementation partner because with them stepping in and really working closely with us, right? They've managed to sort of really tailor the policies to our business operating landscape and really ensure there is complete alignment with our internal workflows. And now, this collaboration or this approach has not only resolved the issue, but really reinstated the importance of having a GRC partner who truly understands your business.
That's the most important part, I believe, too. So tell me, Rohit, how did you juggle between the time, the budget, and the people needed to get these certifications while still keeping everything else in the business moving forward without missing a beat?
On a lighter note, I would say it's a balancing act. But to add to it, right, it certainly requires a strategic approach. We've leveraged automation tools to reduce manual efforts, prioritize critical tasks, and ensure cross-department or cross-functional collaboration. Of course, regular communication and progress tracking have always been key, right? Also, our GRC partner has provided valuable guidance, kind of helping us allocate resources efficiently and not compromising on other business priorities.
Okay. Sounds really, really interesting. Now that you have completed the implementation and have already attended a couple of audit sessions, Rohit, how do you measure the return on investment for these certifications? And how has they changed the culture or the day-to-day operations at your company?
So the ROI on these certifications is really reflected in enhanced client trust. I mean, I'll put that at the first spot, right? Also improved operational efficiencies and reduced risk exposure. Culturally, they've instilled a sense of accountability and awareness among our team members, which is something we were anyway striving for. Also, every employee now understands their role in maintaining security and privacy, which has really fostered a proactive compliance culture.
That's a powerful insight, Rohit. Thank you for sharing.
Of course.
So, Rohit, if I may ask you, what are some of the big trends or threats that you're seeing in the information security and privacy these days? And that, the company like yours should be really start preparing for.
Sure. What really comes to mind is the emerging threats driven by AI, right? AI cyber attacks, supply chain vulnerabilities, and the evolving kind of regulatory landscape is really a top concern. I would say businesses must also prepare for stricter privacy laws and increasing client expectation around data protection. Now, staying ahead really requires continuous investment in technology, uh, regular training, and a strong compliance framework.
Brilliantly said, Rohit. So, last but not the least, what kind of doors have these certification opened for your business? So, when you look back on that journey, what advice would you like to share with other organizations who may be, starting their own compliance journey?
I really love this question. And I was hoping you kind of ask it right at the start of this conversation, but nevertheless, you did ask it. Oh. So these certifications have kind of opened doors, right, with larger enterprises that kind of prioritize security. They've also differentiated us in a very competitive marketplace that we are in. My advice to the others would be to treat compliance as a strategic enabler and not just a requirement. Also, very, very important, right? Partner with a GRC expert who genuinely understands your business and invests in your business. Uh, Fear of the unknown is temporary when you kind of have the right guidance and support. That's all I would say.
Amazing. That's such a valuable perspective, Rohit. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for sharing your insights today. You've given us so much great takeaways, Rohit. I
Well, thank
really
you for
wish you
having me.
continued success, and I'm sure our listeners will be excited to hear what you've shared.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.